All right, I spent a bit of time just playing with the chat from Mistral AI over the weekend, and I just thought I'd walk you through how I normally approach these tools. If you like me, like playing with new tools, just seeing how they're going. And so I like with all the tools I use, I just kind of get a prompt. Here's one. What are some common HubSpot workflow approaches for managing lifecycle stages? So I use this. I kind of want to see what the quality of the output is. And you can see here they've lead qualification workflows, sales handoff, opportunities, customers. And so you can kind of go through the list and then you keep prompting it. These are great. What are some others? And I kept prompting it till I got 60 or so. But I'll just give you my thoughts based on some of the first few because I think there's pros and cons here and I just kind of want to give you a bit of guidance. So the first one, lead qualification workflow, automatically updated contacts life cycle stage from lead to marketing based on criteria. I think this is actually okay. It's a reasonable idea. Like these are all ideas, but it actually gives you a little bit of guidance on how you could implement it. So that's not too bad. Sales handoffs, MQL to SQL, again, based on other criteria, a demo or meeting, lead scoring threshold. So it's kind of giving us some guidance. This isn't too bad. It doesn't tell you the details. You can further prompt it for that. But then let's have a look at 3. Update the lifecycle stage to opportunity when a deal is created in HubSpot. So this one's interesting because I wouldn't normally do this on a workflow. This is just a setting. This is basically the lifecycle stage settings in HubSpot. And the 4th one is as well, customer onboarding, transition contacts to the customer stage once a deal is marked as one. Well, again, this is kind of an automatic setting. You don't need a workflow for this. Sometimes you do if you've got complex sales pipelines, especially if you've got multiple closed won stages, you might want to control it with a workflow because it might not be the first closed one, it might be the later one, depending on how your sales process. So this, I think for most portals, they probably just do it automatically via settings, but there are some cases you could use a workflow, but generally you wouldn't use a workflow. So let's say you're the kind of person that doesn't know HubSpot well, you've inherited it, or you're getting up to speed with it. You come and ask these tools. They kind of give you these ideas, and it's potentially misleading. It's potentially busy work. There's better ways to do it. And if you don't know the platform that well, you could go follow this down, this path, and you're kind of duplicating work. There's a bit of a maintenance step there. But then let's have a look at some others. Re-engage inactive customers or leads by sending them targeted content updating lifecycle stage. So again, this is actually not a bad idea. I can't disagree with it, but gee, if you're new, if you're the kind of person that's prompting these tools to get this kind of stuff, then you probably don't know these things and then you don't know how to do this. Like, how do you define inactive customers? How do you send them targeted content? Like these are big problems to solve and work out, and their renewed engagement. Like, what is that? And then look at some of these based on move them to evangelists based on advocacy activities, such as referring new customers or promoting your brand on social media. Like, how do you check that? How do you automatically do that in HubSpot? And so here's the problem. It's kind of noise. It's not high signal. It's not high intent. Now, just to be clear, you can actually ask and then further prompt, and we do this with all the tools, but I'll show you what we got in the chat. I said, look, how can I implement number 5 in HubSpot? And it actually is not too bad. Determine what constitutes inactive. And it kind of gives you some things, no website visits, no email. It doesn't really tell you how to do that. Like, how do you check if there's no email opens or clicks? Well, that's actually a contact property you can check. No website visits, well, that's last session time. You can check no form submissions within the specified time. Now that you can check for that, but that's actually advanced criteria. Checking for a form submit, and then the last kind of form when it was submitted, perhaps the type of form. Then you create a smart list, then you create a workflow. So this is good. It actually gives you some stuff, and that's correct. And then it even tells you contact based. And then look, create a series of re-engagement emails. Like, it doesn't actually tell you how to do that, but then it's like add them as actions to the workflow and then check engagement. After each email, add a delay and then a branching condition. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if that's good guidance for someone. And then if they engage, update their lifecycle. I just don't know if I'd want to be doing that in this workflow. I'll probably pull that out somewhere else more central to be updating that. And then there's follow-up actions. So look, it's not terrible, but here's the point I'm getting to. If you don't know HubSpot well, you're going to struggle to do this. And if you're prompting these tools to do it, you probably don't know HubSpot well. So you're caught in the middle. How do you get good advice and guidance on what to do if you actually don't know the tool well? And so that's kind of the first problem. The second problem, of course, though, is some people are using this ideation stuff to write content themselves. So they're maybe in charge of content for their agency's blog. And so they've got to get something out around WordPress, around HubSpot rather. And so here they go, the 60 that they've prepared. And look, they don't copy and paste, they're not going to plagiarize, but they kind of take it as inspiration. Let's pull this down to our top 20. And then they kind of take this kind of high level noise, not very specific, not really when you should do it or how to do it, but just kind of overall ideas. They plonk that in a blog post, and push it out. And so the cycles come full circle. Now you've got this kind of noise from the tool pushed in a blog post that goes out that then probably will train further AI crawlers down the track, and the cycle is complete there, and the content slop cycle is complete. Anyway, that's my thoughts, pros and cons, and out of this, I guess I'm just wary and mindful of the kind of HubSpot user that is newish, or they've inherited it from someone else and they're really trying to do their best to get up to speed. Should they be using AI tools? Absolutely, we should all be doing it. But it's hard when you're caught here. At the start, you don't really know the tool well enough to know whether the suggestions here are actually good suggestions or not. Anyway, I'll leave you with that thought. I'm interested in your thinking about this kind of approach as well.